Our final lesson will cover environments and habitats. In this video, you will hear about different environments that contain living things. You will also learn about the animals that live in these environments and how they adapt to survive in their environment. Many animals have to adapt to their environment so that they can survive, and many you will see many examples of these type of living things. There are some vocabulary words you will need to know before this lesson. The first word is habitat. A habitat is where you live. Adapt means to change. An animal adapts to their environment. They change to survive in their environment. The next word is tundra, which is a very cold place with very few plants. It has some plants, but not a whole lot. We'll learn about the animals that live there and kind of how the land forms are there. And the last word is food chain, which is how living things are linked. Our first environment will be a home for people. Where you live, no matter where that is, if it's a house or an apartment, it is your habitat. It's where you get the main things that you need to survive. The way you get food, you drink, you sleep, you take a shower. That's your environment, that's your habitat. And you are surrounded by living things in your habitat. If you have trees outside, you have animals outside, that is your environment. The next environment we're going to talk about is the desert. The desert is a very, very hot, dry place. There's not very many plants there, and the plants that are there, they have adapted to survive in hot, dry climate because, like we discussed before, plants do not survive without sunlight and water and the things that they need. But cactuses, like we see in this picture, they have adapted to their environment. They do not need a lot of water to survive. They kind of keep their water in their stem and they survive off of it like that. So they have it completely adapted to their environment in the desert. There's also kind of lizards, all kinds of lizards that live in the desert who do not require much water. They can survive days and weeks without water. There's also camels. Camels live in the desert also. They don't really need a whole lot of water. They have adapted to their environment as well. And they're also like a sandy color so that they can blend in with their environment. Next is the rainforest. The rainforest is a very sticky, hot, humid, rainy place. You'll see animals there that need a lot of water. It's kind of hard for water to come into the rainforest because there's so many trees. So animals kind of get their water from streams and stuff. And you'll see like bright colored animals there, like these birds here. And then you'll see a lot of those frogs with webbed feet. That's so that they can grab onto things. They've adapted. Their bodies are made to survive in the rainforest. Their webbed feet so that they can stick onto trees and stuff, even though they're all wet. In the rainforest, you'll also see leopards and stuff. There's a lot of beautiful animals in the rainforest. Next is the tundra. The tundra or the Arctic is very cold, there's a lot of snow and ice, so you'll see a lot of animals with thick fur, like the polar bear, or you'll see animals that have uh, a layer of fat under their skin, like very thick fat called blubber. And whales have that. Uh, Seals have that just to keep them warm. They have to have extra fat because fat keeps you warm. And penguins too. They have special feet that keeps them from slipping around on the ice as well. So they have all adapted to their environment. They would not survive in a place like the rainforest or the Sahara because they're just not built for that. They're built to live in cold climate. Um, Also, the Arctic wolf there has thick a thick coat. The next one is grasslands. Grasslands is hot climate with very flat land. You won't see a whole lot of trees close together. So like it's not like the rainforest. It's kind of got spread out trees. Tall animals like the giraffe, they have to travel in herds so that they don't get hunted down by lions and stuff because they can't hide under trees. They're just out in the open. And so you'll see the predators that really survive out there in the open because they can get other animals. They can see very well. So you'll see the giraffe is the color of like the sand. It's a brown color, so that it can blend in more with where they're at. You see like a rhinoceros and elephants. They're these this environment's more like in the Sahara in Africa, hot place to live. Next is the ocean. The ocean animals usually can live underwater. They have gills, like fish and turtles can live on land or in water. Ocean animals, a lot of the time, they're good swimmers. Obviously, they need a lot of water because they're just water animals. They could not survive in the desert. They would wilt and die if they lived in the desert because their body is made to live in the ocean, in the wet climate, um, and to breathe underwater. They don't have lungs like people. A lot of them have gills, or a lot of them can hold their breath underwater for a very long time, and they're used to more hot climate. Even though there are oceans in the Arctic as well, and that's where you see the whales and stuff. Next, we're going to talk about the food chain. A food chain is how animals are linked. Some animals are linked because they're the same and they're in herds, and some animals are linked because they're enemies. A little rat is not going to be friends with an owl because owls hunt them down. You see the rabbit that eats the carrots, but the fox eats the rabbit and the lion eats the fox. So they are linked because in as prey and predators. Right here you have the grasshopper that eats grass, but the frog eats the grasshopper, so it's the predator, and the grasshopper is the prey. And then you have the predator that's the snake that eats the frog, and then you have an eagle that eats the snake. So the eagle is the predator, the snake becomes the prey. And all sorts of living things are linked this way. Humans are linked to animals. They're probably at the top of the food chain because we kind of have the resources to eat any animal that we want, unfortunately. Sometimes we become the prey, though, if you get attacked by a lion or something like that. Okay, well, hopefully you guys will have a good grasp of what these environments look like. You should be able to identify them and identify the animals that go in these environments. We will be doing an activity, a very fun activity with the shoe boxes where we're going to make our own environments. You're going to make them at home. I'm going to give you the tools for that, and you will create your own environment. This project comes out very, very good. It really stretches your creativity. Okay, well, I'll see you guys in class next time. Goodbye.